The Rotten Tomatoes score for Kraven the Hunter is in, and it is shocking. The movie has debuted to a 12% on Rotten Tomatoes. Now, that is absolutely terrible, and, my expectations were low, don't get me wrong. I thought it was going to be, like a 35-40%. But this just blew me away. This means this movie is on par with, Madam Web. And that is not a good thing at all. Madam Web was one of the worst movies I've probably ever seen. The director of the movie was out there pleading people to give Kraven the Hunter a chance, and you check it out in theaters. They released the first 8 minutes of the movie, a week before it even released. It is currently tracking to do half of what Morbius did. And this is said to be the last Sony spin-off universe movie, so everyone knows it's the end of an era. So why bother paying a premium to go see this movie in something like IMAX? Now let's take a look at some of the recent Sony spin-off universe Rotten Tomatoes scores, because it is abysmal. We've got 57% for Venom 2, 30% for Venom 1, Madam Web at 16, and Morbius at 15. And Kraven is sitting at a 12. So yeah, this universe should have just never happened without Spider-Man and proper leadership and direction, because right now, Sony's just throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks, and so far, nothing is. This whole universe without Spider-Man but using Spider-Man villains is just an absolutely idiotic decision. This is what a Kraven the Hunter movie should have been, a movie about Kraven versus Spider-Man. Because after all, he is a Spider-Man villain. I don't think anyone is a huge fan of just Kraven himself. A lot of people really like Kraven as a Spider-Man villain. And if you take away Spider-Man, he's essentially just like Jungle Man. He's essentially like a superpowered Tarzan. And the character loses a lot of appeal, so, I hope that this whole Sony spin-off universe is actually dead. Just license the characters over to Marvel Studios and they could actually try to do them justice. Surely anything the MCU does would be better than what Sony has done over the last few years, but let's take a look at a couple of reviews. So the first one here says, Kraven the Hunter is horrendous. Thanks for asking. Not in so bad it's fun like Madam Web, but just dull, episodically plotted, poorly directed, dreck, and horrendous ADR and CGI. Now I have heard that the Rhino CGI is really, really rough because they added him in very late in production. Then it says, not even the R rating can save it. Hell, it makes it even more desperate for Sony. Review is coming later from this account over on Twitter. Here's one that's kind of mixed. It says that the movie excels in action, but ultimately just doesn't have the sauce. It's got strange story structure, decisions, overwhelmingly brutal ADR, and an overall disbelief within the characters themselves. Russell Crowe was the only one who sold his dialogue, which, even just from the trailers, I think he's going to crush it as Kraven's dad. This person over on Twitter says that Kraven the Hunter is leagues above the rest of the SSU movies. Now, I don't know about that. I feel like quality-wise, this movie is going to be pretty much the same as Morbius, Madam Web, and so on. But I could be wrong. I am going to check this movie out tomorrow despite the bad reviews, and then I will make my own review on here. So yeah guys, there you have it. Kraven the Hunter has debuted to 12% on Rotten Tomatoes. That is absolutely terrible. Now obviously this can go up, or it can even go down. But it is going to be a low score regardless. It's not just going to shoot up to an 80% or anything. My guess is it's probably going to fall around a 20 to 25% when all is said and done. And this is just such a shame because I really like Aaron Taylor Johnson, and I think with Kraven, I think he really looks the part. He's got the physicality and everything. He's also a great actor, of course, and I think he would have been a fantastic Kraven in a Tom Holland Spider-Man movie. And who knows, maybe we see him cross paths with Tom Spider-Man at some point, but I think the chances are kind of low based off of how this movie is projected to perform. Let me know down below in the comments if you are shocked about this low score that Kraven the Hunter has debuted with. And also let me know if this is going to deter you from going to the movie theater and actually watching it. Stay tuned for my review tomorrow.